We really do need to talk about certain issues in the world of employment that really need to be corrected. Right now everybody wants to talk about the immigration thing, which is a real issue and is causing a ton of problems. CDLs are being handed out to people who don't know the first thing about driving trucks, for example. People are being undercutted, construction companies. There's all kinds of examples of that kind of thing. And that was an issue that was actively suppressed for decades until it blew up like 2016 and is now finally starting to see course correction. We do need to start talking about the next steps after this. After we get rid of the immigrants, what's the next step? We absolutely 100% need to go after the employers. People in HR should be sent to prison. We do need to correct the qualification problem, and we do need to force these people to actually train employees so they can actually gain experience and advance their careers, because that is the basic bitch cope when it comes to employers these days. They try, first of all, they try filtering you due to not having degrees or whatever, and then they try and imply that you don't have enough experience. And this is, of course, just something that they're using to kind of justify their behavior, to keep seething to the government that, we need more immigrants so they can keep undercutting people. So they keep, hiring people that aren't actually qualified to do these positions. And the grift is being exposed all the time. People are starting to see through it. It's starting to become, more and more mainstream. And it is about time that we start introducing real legislation to start dealing with this issue. So I think employers should be forced to train people. You don't have experience should not be a cope. They should be paying for your education. They should be training you. They should be paying you a reasonable rate. The entire you don't have enough experience thing is just a cope. If anyone says that to you, you should be able to bitch slap them and just call them retarded. Okay. And that's kind of my mindset at this point. Someone who is pulling in a pretty tidy, self-employed income. I don't really need a job at this point. So whenever I go out and ask for work and they try giving me that narrative, I just kind of laugh at them and call them idiots. And I do think that needs to become more and more common, is that yeah, we should start bullying HR. Yeah, we should start harassing these people, and we should start telling them that they are disgusting human beings that really have no power in any way, shape, and form, not even over their employees. I can't begin to tell you how many times I've been threatened by these people, how they've tried to fire me, how they actually did fire me, and how it didn't bother me at all. It is shocking how little influence these people actually have. But it needs to go more extreme, okay? We really do need to take that next step and start really, truly, genuinely just fucking these people over. Because, what happened to me, even though I was well prepared for it, I'd been spending my entire career building up to this moment. Even then, it was completely unacceptable, and it's something that I've been thinking a lot about since. And yeah, we are going to get our revenge. That is kind of my mindset. Thinking about this, how thinking about the next step. It's not good enough that we get rid of the immigrants and that we start, opening up jobs to Americans. We have to introduce new legislation, new policies, new methods of protecting ourselves against these malicious middle management dumbasses. It really can't be emphasized enough, especially for someone like me who is now fully self-employed. It can't be emphasized enough just how retarded these people actually are. Their businesses are closing, they're shutting down, they can't stay operational because of their inability to do the basic thing of hiring competent people. And that's a reoccurring thing across all sorts of industries I've been in over the past couple of years. But it really does need to be understood more just how stupid and self-destructive these people actually are, especially since they think they can just jump to another company and just do it all over again. And that's another thing I do think we need to do is that we do need to start like introducing like records so that these people, if their company fails or like it should follow them throughout their entire careers, like being in a higher position should not absolve you of any responsibility. If anything, you should be the first to get your pay cut. You should be the first to get fired. You should be the first to take accountability. Because after all, if an employee is causing problems on the floor due to a lack of training or experience, that is not the employee's fault. It is management's fault for not making sure that that person knew what he was doing and taking every opportunity to make sure that things were running smoothly. Like it just means that management were not doing their jobs. That's kind of my mindset going into this. And it is about time that we really start like really talking about like how to make this happen, how best to do it. And I do think the main thing, stop looking down on people that have to work, stop looking down on people who are working in the trades or who are working in uh, like any kind of position, retail, like whatever, like it's not doing you any good. Like, if those people do better, you are going to do better. And that's not just true by, if you're their management, that's true like in society in general. Like one of the main reasons why everything is so trash now is that everybody is scraping by because of this weird backstabby nature of corporate America. Like it really needs to stop. 100% full tilt. It needs to stop today. And that is my commitment to you, at this stage in my life is that like, yeah, this is something that I am now passionate about. We do need to take more steps to prevent these people from doing whatever they want. Like there need to be serious consequences introduced to middle management. Like there should be a very real possibility of sending these people to prison. Is kind of my mindset at this point. So like obviously we still have a long way to go on this in this matter. Like there's still like, a lot of things we have to do to clean up the country, to remove like, illegals and all that. And like, most people are like naturally focused on the government, as they should. And like obviously the government is kind of, a major part of this, but it really can't be denied that like for most everyday people, the people like the person that screws you over the most, it isn't your family, it isn't like your wife, it isn't your kids, it isn't like the people you're around. It is your boss. It is their boss. It is like the people that control the jobs in your area. Like these people absolutely need to be held accountable and need to be seriously fined and indicted for what they've done. They are downright disgusting human beings and should be treated as such.